If you think endometriosis only means painful periods, this video is for you. Endometriosis can show up in so many different unique ways beyond pelvic pain. And this is one of the reasons why it is chronically underdiagnosed. It takes an average of 8 to 10 years for a person to get diagnosed with endometriosis correctly. And here are the subtle signs and symptoms that I look for besides period cramps. Number 1. Pain with sex, especially with deep penetration. I'm not talking a little discomfort. I'm talking about pain that makes you avoid being intimate with your partner and even feeling sore afterwards. This is called dyspareunia, and it can mean that there is infiltration of the ligaments behind the vaginal canal and cervix that hold it in place that may be infiltrated by endometriotic implants. Number 2. Pelvic pains, but those that occur outside of when you're on your period. So random stabbing pains, really painful ovulation, pain that feels unpredictable, but somehow still happens with your cycle, just not necessarily with your period. GI symptoms. So these typically flare around your period. I'm talking about bloating that makes you feel like you look pregnant, feeling nauseous, even vomiting, or having constipation and diarrhea that suddenly gets worse right before or during your period. Pain with bowel movements, especially on your period. These are GI symptoms that coincide with your cycle, and they're all a big red flag. In addition to endo involving your colon, your bowel, there can also be bladder symptoms. So I'm talking about urgency, frequency, feeling like you need to urinate all the time, burning, or even pelvic pressure, all of which feels like a UTI, but your urine tests keep coming back negative. And this is especially worse with your period. There's actually a specific inflammatory condition of the bladder called interstitial cystitis, which has to be diagnosed by putting a camera through the urethra into the bladder, which is often concurrent with endo. These are called the evil twins for a reason. Endometriosis can also show up as low back or hip pain, especially pain that's cyclic, and maybe it radiates or predictably gets worse during the same phase of your menstrual cycle. That really matters. And last but certainly not least, sometimes the major sign is infertility, where you feel mostly fine, maybe your cycle seems normal, but you're just not getting pregnant and it seems like an unexplained case. Here's the clue that connects all of this. Endometriosis symptoms are often cyclical. So if you notice a pattern where there's pain with sex or bowel movements or when you're urinating or bloating gets worse during or right before your period and then improves after, these are all red flags that are worth taking seriously. When it comes to lower abdominal and pelvic pain, it can be tricky because there are so many organs that are kind of compressed in a small space in the pelvic cavity. And so there could be a lot of different causes of pelvic discomfort and GI symptoms. But if this is your reality and this list of symptoms or signs kind of rings a bell, then you deserve a real workup to make sure that you're excluding those other causes. And you should have a real conversation with a doctor who listens and actually investigates. Comment below and share which symptoms, if any, that you've had that nobody connected originally to your diagnosis of endometriosis. We want to learn from your experience. And if you know someone who's been told, oh, it's just IBS or you're just stressed, please send this video to them. You might be able to help them.